What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Nerds of UVM. I'm your host, David. I'm joined by my friend Luke.
What's up, everybody?
Joined by my friend Bob.
You drink water in the most annoying way.
Io's here too.
And I'm joined by my friend Io.
Hey.
Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I'm glad. I hope you and yours are doing well this fine week. Hope you're having a good time. Hope life's going all right for you. It's going okay for me so far. Is it going all right for all of you?
Actually,
I'm not dead yet.
Actually, I'm at like kind of a little peak right now.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good way and a bad way.
Good.
Okay.
Way, good way.
How does a peak? How is peaking like a bad thing?
No,
Like,
like
what do you mean?
stress level. Like,
Oh, okay.
That's true.
like
Yeah.
you're about like, because a lot of kids now are like, because spring break is like 3 weeks away, and they're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god,
Yeah, I feel
and
that.
then they get drunk for a week.
That's true.
Why am I not stressed?
For those of you wondering, this is a roundtable talk show where we talk all things nerdy. We're going to get right into today's topic, or this episode's topic, I should say. Yeah. Which is TellTale Games.
There hasn't been a murder in Fabletown in a long time.
Do your job, Sheriff, or we'll find someone who can. You're the one that'll close the deal by playing whatever role you need to.
This place is a garbage land of sand and sadness.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry I wasn't here.
They are a game company that makes video games. Who wants to talk about them first? Basically, what they do is they make choose your own adventure type games. Pretty much exclusively.
They're the ones.
Point and click adventure games, I guess you could say.
Yeah, but they're also responsible for like the games like Walking Dead, Last of Us.
That's not Last of Us.
Not Last of Us.
That's Naughty Dog.
Okay. Well, I'm not a gamer, so I'm. This is gonna be a question and answer.
Oh, okay,
sort of
okay,
thing.
all right.
should-
All right.
you
I
should-
thought you were just ignorant.
No, well, kind of too.
You should look up like gameplay of Last of Us because it has a really good story. It's like
No. I
Play the
like,
game yourself. Don't
Yeah.
just watch somebody play. Play the game yourself.
Well, I
all the
mean,
time.
if he's not a gamer and doesn't have the console for it, is what I was. Anyway, off topic.
But I know like it's like an ongoing story. I know also like the people behind Game of Thrones is starting to try to get into TellTale Games.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones
one
had
of
one Telltale season yet, or Telltale had one Game of Thrones.
Now,
Season.
how does it work?
So basically, what Telltale does is like almost exclusively they've taken other properties, whether it's a video game or a comic or a
it's
TV
the
show. Or
it's like kind of a modern licensed video game, right?
No, they definitely are. They're licensed video games based off of other properties, and they just like they offer the player the ability to play their own adventure in these different fictionalized worlds. The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, which is based on the Fable Vertigo comics.
And does it?
Yeah,
and
that
does it
was
like have an
lit.
end?
Let me go through all the things that they do.
Well, I don't know.
Tales from the Borderlands, which is actually like taking place in the Borderlands video game series and is actually canon. So like the stuff that is finite in that series, like it's canon in like so things that took place in Tales from the Borderlands will end up in Borderlands 3 is the story that I've seen. Game of Thrones, Guardians of the Galaxy, Batman.
Wait, there's one for Guardians.
There was one for Guardians of the Galaxy, yeah. So they do it all. They do it all. What do you mean by do they have an end?
Well, like, because I mean, the gaming realm is so huge now, and like, I've given up trying to keep up with everything. But like, you take something like an Assassin's Creed game. Eventually, there is an end to it. Does it happen with these games too?
You mean?
Or does it like?
Because they're doing like seasons. You're asking?
Yeah.
Well, they're episode at the end of the season. There is like an end to the story.
So like, you keep just your season is however long it takes you to finish that out.
It's like a choose your own adventure TV show almost. Right?
It is like a choose your own adventure TV. Like basically, certain events, like your character goes through certain events, you can choose how to interact in those events.
Yeah.
And then ultimately things might end up differently in terms of like if characters make it out alive or not,
Yeah.
if like you have positive interactions with characters or not. If you have certain items on you or not, but ultimately like the same endpoint is usually reached at the same time. It's the things in between. That
Okay,
sort of
so there
vary.
is an eventual endpoint for the season.
Yeah, because it's like an arc. Like
Okay.
like the character you play as, they have an arc throughout the 5 episodes.
Okay.
And after those 5 episodes, your character is
How does it
different
set up in episodes though?
episodically. It's So there's usually with Telltale it's like 5 episodes a season. Sometimes there's 6, but it's usually 5.
It's just like levels.
Oh.
Well, no, that's not true either. Because like I mean,
Doesn't get harder.
because there are like different parts of like whatever world you're investigating that like I mean.
So it's all a stylistic thing.
It's a stylistic thing. It's just the way they've divided up the game.
Okay.
Oh,
'Cause, like, an
does
average-
literally every game have 5 episodes?
Except for Game of Thrones, that has 6, I think.
Okay. Oh, well then that's good too, because you're getting into it. You know how much like of the game you have left.
Yeah, and like I think they do that as a way to be able to sort of make the game cheaper for folks. So like if you only want to buy one episode at a time, whatever, it's only $5 instead of like $60 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
The other downside to that though is that like they put out content around one game at a slower rate. So like for example, Tales from the Borderlands. The first 2 episodes came out within a month of each other, I want to say. But then like episode 3, 4, and 5, those were like way behind schedule. So like you didn't get episode like 3 and 4 until like maybe 6 months after or something like that.
That's
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if Frederick can correct me on that.
Or Luke.
Or Luke.
This one might be me actually.
Do you know?
No, I was talking.
Well, I was
thought
talking-
I thought you were talking to the future editor.
Oh, okay. Well, I was actually asking Frederick right here if he knew or anything like that. You don't know if they got delayed? No, he doesn't know.
He's giving us one.
He
of
doesn't know.
these. Anywho,
So the
I
delay
have a
process can
question.
get
So, I know there's a lot of these IPs.
Mm.
For someone who, I game, but I haven't delved into Telltale, which would be the ones you recommend getting into to get a good sense, and they're also just like the better ones.
The Walking Dead season 1 is definitely, I think, their strongest. It's the one that they started out with. It's one that won multiple awards for. That's definitely one to check out, I think.
The Wolf Among Us.
The Wolf Among Us is another great one to check out. The Wolf Among Us is I just started playing that game actually.
Oh,
I just started
really?
episode 1 last night. It's so great.
It's good.
It's so stylish and it's so weird and trippy, and it features a lot of characters that you'll know from like fairy tales and stuff like that. And the world is like easy to understand but also interesting to investigate.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's definitely like it is superior. It is a superior game.
Should I get? They just
For you might like Batman.
I was gonna say because Batman just released for the Switch, right?
Yeah, Batman's easy to get into. Especially since the first season has all 5 episodes. Like, especially if you're like a comic book fan and you know Batman or you like anything about Batman, that's definitely a series easy to get into. Here's what I'll say. I think the most enjoyable experience I've had is with Tales of the Borderlands.
Okay.
I don't know the Borderlands world that well. I play the first 2 every now and then with my brother. But playing Tales from the Borderlands makes me want to play the Borderlands games. Like, a lot. It is funny, it is witty, it is clever, it is, it's got a lot of attitude and a lot of spunk, and it's just like, spunk is the right word, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think.
That's not a dirty word, right?
It can be.
Anything can be. Baked potatoes, anybody?
Yeah, and it's like irreverent, and it's like
Sour
it's just
cream.
it's super good, and it's got Laura Bailey and Troy Baker voicing characters who are awesome. There isn't really. I mean, here's the thing with Telltale, the premises are always great, and the high points are always like really high, but the low points are very low. Like I will specifically reference Batman.
Like
Batman,
Meteor in the Earth kind of low point.
Mm-hmm. Batman is every time I played it like 3 different times now. Season 1, riddled with technical problems.
Oh, that's
riddled.
Shitty. That's so shitty.
Graphical glitches and like
That's kind of astonishing given like the nature of the game.
the
It's a point and
the
click.
audio is like complete ass, and like because like the audio because like they'll have like action sounds effects and stuff like that, and they'll have their music and then they'll have their dialogue. It is not well balanced at all.
So like it'll be like someone will be speaking, but then you won't hear the dialogue for like a couple seconds.
Yeah, or the music is too loud and you can't hear what's going on.
Too much
Or
bass.
it's like only you can only hear the action sequences, or like action is happening, you can't hear the sound effects or anything like that. It is bad. It is like significantly bad.
That's like a video I make for you.
No, yeah, definitely.
Riddled with mistakes.
Yeah.
Is this like a consistent issue with Batman, or
I
is
have-
it like
it-
back and forth?
It's
like,
pretty consistent, Batman. Like, especially in episode 1, which is like super disappointing
Damn.
because you can't start off like your game series by having your first episode be so shoddy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And a lot of the problems have to do with their engine, which they self-developed and have not really updated or improved upon at all since they've been making the games in their engine, which started with The Walking Dead.
It's gotta be great for finances.
Well, it definitely. I mean, I'm sure it saves them money, but like, here's the problem with their engine. Like, from what
Without
I
a good
from-
engine, you're not gonna have a good product.
Yeah, but also like from what I understand, like everybody is either using Unreal Engine 4 or Frostbite right now. So like there are a bunch of different developers who have worked with the engine. Like, oh, you having a problem with this? Oh, call Naughty Dog or whatever. They'll know how to fix it. Oh, cool. Yeah, no, here's the problem. We had this problem like on our last game. Here's how you can
But
improve
they
it
have
or
to
something
deal
like that.
all
They
within
have to
the
deal with it
company.
themselves because nobody else knows how to work with it. So they got to solve problems all by themselves. It's just it's one of those things.
It's like developing your own like video editing
And it
software.
and it
like-
totally sucks you out of the experience, which is such a bummer. I have not found that experience to be the same with things like Borderlands or The Walking Dead or The Wolf Among Us or Game of Thrones. It has only been Batman, which is so disappointing.
Oh.
I haven't played the Guardians of the Galaxy one yet, which I'm a little bummed about, but that's sort of been my experience so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you, Io? You played the games.
Yeah, I played Wolf Among Us and Game of Thrones.
Okay, all right.
They were
Which ones do you like better?
fantastic.
Wolf Among Us better?
Wolf, definitely Wolf.
I'm surprised you haven't played Walking Dead. Are you not into zombies or anything like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
definitely not.
All right. All right.
Actually, yes.
All right. They're super cheap to buy usually. You can get them on like there's also a Minecraft one.
Yeah,
like
the
Minecraft
story mode. Thing?
Story mode, yeah.
Oh, that's a Telltale.
That's a TellTale game.
Is it story
yeah.
mode in Minecraft?
Well, that's what they call the TellTale series, Minecraft Story Mode.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I think is actually kind of clever. I've wanted to get into it because I hear it's also just as smart and witty as like Tales from the Borderlands.
I'd hope so. For
Yeah.
Minecraft.
Yeah, I definitely want to go check that out. Especially because like they have 2 seasons out, each with like 8 episodes or something like that. So they've got a lot of content packed into those. Also, I don't think they're as glitchy.
Sick.
So TellTale, I mean, I love TellTale. They need to improve their engine though, because like it's starting to be a bummer. I go back and play their older games; it's not as an issue, but with every newer game, it's just like
They're overreaching, it seems.
it seems like it too. And like, I mean, it's tough because like when you're in the game industry, you got to keep making games so you can keep making money on them.
But unfortunately, the engines have to improve too.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's hard for you to just like totally full stop, pay everybody to improve the engine, and then go back to making games because it's like a. I would imagine.
What do you do in the meantime?
Yeah, that's
Are
like
they partnered with any big companies or something like that?
Well,
that could help them with the engine?
I believe I don't know if they pay for the licenses or they are licensed to use certain things, but like I know they've got a close partnership with WB because they did The Wolf Among Us, which is a Vertigo DC comic, and then they've done 2 seasons of Batman. Marvel definitely partnered with them with Guardians of the Galaxy. Gearbox partnered with them to do Borderlands.
Yeah, but do they have direct access to like a better engine, or do they have to just like on their own create it?
I mean, I don't
Because like
I don't
Ubisoft,
know.
with Ubisoft, like they're like creating new engines as they're making new games.
I don't know. I think the studio is too small to be able to do that. In all honesty, and also because they are solo, they don't have the connections. Really.
Okay.
They're sort of independent. They aren't. They may be owned by somebody, and I don't know. But like
They're just a really successful independent.
yeah,
publisher.
almost.
Yeah,
Like
but that's
I mean,
that feels like that's the catch-22 with a lot.
yeah,
of
I mean they're not owned like by like EA or Activision where they can just go like, hey, we're having trouble with this engine.
Yeah.
We need some like engineers.
That's what I
to come
thought.
by."
That's what I
It's
thought. I
like,
thought they
no.
were like a little parent, like
a parent company or something like that.
Yeah.
Or a publisher or whatever you're talking about.
yeah, of something like they're just under the umbrella of something else.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I think they partner with publishers, but they don't have
See,
a
that's the
publisher
problem with
themselves.
independent gaming systems, though. It's like you can make a great game, but if it gets really popular and your engine can't support the demand, I mean, you're gonna falter.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate, though.
Yeah.
I hope they don't.
I mean, the reason if they just need to take like a year to work on their engine, and that means no money coming in from games.
Yeah,
but like, I
exactly.
mean, it may be the sacrifice you have to make. Although I don't know, maybe just cough them. I don't know games. I also think games should be more expensive than they are right now, but that's like another topic for another
More
time.
expensive.
Well, it's just like I mean, with the way that games have been improving graphically and just like gameplay wise, and just like there have been so many improvements made. I don't think game prices have been hiked since like the PS3, Xbox 360 generation.
And that's the whole reason we're getting like trouble with like microtransactions.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
everything.
I remember
It's
the-
their
Games are
way
getting
of making up for
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
The games are getting so much more expensive to make, but
I do remember
we're
the
not
10
paying more for them.
I do remember the $10 hike, and like I had friends who were like, "Mother, how dare they?" And then like
Yeah.
after a week, they're like, whatever."
Yeah, I mean, like here's the thing: if the
Because it was $49.99, and then it jumped to $59, and people were like rioting in the streets,
Yeah.
like
and people are like, oh, we'll suck it up because these are good games.
yeah. And
I
then
mean,
that was basically
yeah.
like, okay, whatever.
They didn't make the price jump last generation, which I think is like to the gaming community's detriment because like games are getting more expensive, and now we have microtransactions up the wazoo.
Loot box, baby.
Yeah, I would think that by like the PS5 and like Xbox 2 or whatever it is, whether it's 2019 or whether it's later, I think it needs to go up $20.
$20
In all honesty.
to catch up.
Yeah, I think so.
It's an $80 game.
So
They're gonna
I
need
mean,
to
but some of
release
these
some
games
really
are worth
fucking good
$80. That's the thing. Well, what that means is like companies cannot like pitter patter around anymore. You know the issue with Star Wars Battlefront too,
Yeah,
where microtransactions to pay to win essentially. Companies would have to avoid that and make actually like solid games to make their money back. If they don't make their money back, that's on the company for not doing a good enough job to warrant that $80 price point.
Yeah, either we go that route or you go kind of the Nintendo direction and completely say fuck you to graphics and just make like fun games that operate within a lower engine.
Yeah.
The Breath
Or
of the Wild is able to exist.
or we stop trusting machines because eventually they're gonna turn into Terminator and we're all gonna start fighting them in 5 years. I swear to God.
The government is watching you when you're in
I
your
agree
VR
with you,
porn.
Oh my God. All right, well, that's a discussion for another day. But I want to thank you all for joining us on this episode of Nerds of UVM. We had a good time talking about TellTale Games. If you like what we did, consider liking and commenting down below and subscribing to the channel. You can also check out our channel subscription right there. And you can also follow us on social media there. But until next time, I've been David.
I've been Luke.
I've been Bob.
I've been
This has been Nerds of UVM. Thank you so much for coming by. We'll check you later. Until next time, live long and prosper.
I'm telling you, Skynet is coming.
Oh, boy.
It's coming. It's coming hard.
Don't get me started.
The government is watching you in your VR porn.
I don't know.